What's up guys, welcome back to another video here at the Decent Garage. Today what we're going to be doing is continuing to work on Lieutenant Dan. So I am finishing, I had a few things. I had the front differential, front drive shaft, some of the brake and steering components to still put the core seal and paint on, so I'm doing that. But you'll see I've got a big piece of plywood here. So what I'm going to do is build kind of a little rolling platform that we can just set the tub on so I can roll it in and out of the garage to work on it. Let's get to working on the rolling platform thing to set it on. Alright guys, slight change of plans. I thought we were going to start with the firewall, but it's snowing outside, so I don't want to do any of the wire wheeling in here anymore. I'm going to roll it out to do that. That's why I built the cart for it. So I'll show you what we're going to start on. Let me show you what I've been working on though. So here is the chassis, and you can see I've got everything all treated with core seal and painted. So it looks really nice. I still need to paint the transfer case, transmission, and I don't know if I'll paint the engine. We'll see. But I'm going to do that outside. So I'm just waiting for the lug nuts, trying to get the rust off with the apple cider vinegar, and then recoat those in the black oxide. And then we'll put the wheels back on and she'll be rolling again. But it looks really, really good. I need to bend this bumper out just a little bit again too, so we'll get to it. Here's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to get the grinder. We're going to cut off this piece, and this piece I want to salvage so we can use it when we replace this whole piece and replace this taillight panel. So we're going to try and carefully cut that off, same with the other one, and then we're going to try and cut all this bad metal out so we can replace it. So they sold patch panels for this online, but honestly it's just a flat piece of metal, and it's this piece which is just kind of got a 90-degree bend in it. So that's why when I bought this metal I had them put a bend in it. We'll cut it down how we need it and just replace that piece. So everything else along the bottom is surface rust. This will be the worst spot to kind of see what we've got going on here, but we won't know till we really get into that. So we're going to replace these parts first, and then we'll stand it up, wire wheel the bottom, wire wheel the firewall, and do all that, and then it should go really fast, really smooth from there. So let's get doing this real quick. All right, we got those off. So you can see how that rust behind there has just kind of pushed this out. So I think what I'm going to try and do is cut right along here, right along there, and then get this piece off, just like that. And then try the same thing over here. It may go up a little higher on this side, but I want to leave this top portion because it's factory metal. So we'll see. If we have to cut more off, we will, but I'm going to cut as little off as I have to. So. All right, we got that piece out. So, pretty good. Again, just surface rust back here. This, I need to investigate, what is this? I think it's just sheet metal as well. So I'm gonna probably cut that out and just cut that out as well and rebuild this portion as well. We'll see. I'm gonna probably lift it up. I know one of the body mounts is in here, so I'll have to check and see. Hopefully we don't have to cut the bottom part off, but we'll see. We may have to create that. That may be kind of the most difficult part, but came out pretty easily. So we're going to have to recreate, this piece and then that folded corner piece. But we'll get that. We'll take our time and do it as well as we can. So obviously this would be much easier with a plasma cutter, but this is the decent garage. It's not a professional garage. I don't have those type of tools, so we're gonna get by with a grinder. I'm gonna do all the welding with my fairly cheap welder. It cost me $100, but I actually I spent another $100 upgrading it from flux core to MIG. So we're going to use that to do all the welding on it and get by on the cheap. That's kind of the MO of this project, and I think it'll work out just fine for the goals of the project. So sweet, that's good to get all that out. I'm going to do a little more investigation on this piece and see what we need to do to get the rust out of that and how we can rebuild it. So I'm going to explain too, for those of you who haven't done body work like this and rust repair. Rust, it's like cancer. You've got to get it all out. On this project, I'm really going to straddle that line of getting it all out and, you know, where I feel like it is good enough. But on a real true restoration, you've got to get it all out. So because I'm using some rust treatment products for the surface rust, that line's a little more gray than it is black and white. But so for example, use a wire brush, check this piece out. So this top piece looks like all surface rust. This piece right here, definitely cancerous rust. So for my purposes, I'm going to try and just cut this piece out because that's where, you know, it's really rotted through. If this were a frame off restoration, this is where you would probably say, you know, I'm going to cut that whole thing off because if it's this bad here, it's likely to keep spreading. So again, your decision making, your goals, your talent, how much time you have, how much money you have, that's going to determine how black and white you make that line of how much you're going to cut the rust out. So I'm going to try that, cut this piece off, see what it looks like, and see if I feel safe just doing that. Maybe once I get it off, I'll look at back underneath there and be like, nah, I need to cut more off. So again, it's not a black and white decision, and don't let anyone tell you that that's the case. It's up to you. So let's get cutting that out real quick. All right, got that piece cut out. So here's what we're looking at. A couple wasp nests. That's the kind of holder for the body mount. Again, it all comes down to the goals of your project. If I really wanted to be thorough and cover every base on this, I would probably really investigate that. But I know there's, to some degree, there's rust all over this thing. So I've drawn the line where I think that line should be, and that's where we're going to go with this project. So some of you may agree, some of you may disagree. That's fine. It is what it is. But anyways, I'm going to clean that up a little bit, and that looks pretty good. See if there's anything else we really need to cut out, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, so not a ton of progress today, but little by little we're chipping away at it. I'm waiting on the part still to convert the welder, so that's kind of what's holding me up right now. But for those of you who stuck around to this far in the video, you're going to get a reward. Let me show you a bunch of parts that I recently picked up for the crew cab. There's a lot. So first of all, this right here, this is a Kelderman airbag suspension for the rear. So this will be going in the OG crew cab. That means I'm going to be finding an onboard compressor for it and showing you how to do that. Picked up this tailgate for cheap, a little beat up on the LE panel, but overall it's in really, really good shape. So you can't have too many tailgates. That's what I've learned. Also got some new shocks. Don't quite need those yet, but I'll definitely need them at some point. Got new fuel filters, oil filters. I know some of you guys are a little less experienced, so I'm going to be doing a video on how to change the oil on these trucks and how to change the fuel filter on the truck. So it may be very basic for some of you, but it may be much needed for others. So I'm just going to do a video on it. So also got these badges. This is an OEM badge. These two are reproductions. Still kind of cool though. Got an OEM window switch bezel, as well as the guy I got all this from is a machinist, and he machined these aluminum window switches, window switch bezels. So he machined it so there's, let me see if I can organize this. There's 3 of the driver and 3 of the passenger. So basically you could do 3 two-door trucks, or you can do a driver and 3 passengers for a crew cab truck. So we'll see how I use those. They come with hardware and these brackets to mount them up to the door panel. So pretty cool. Also got a factory high idle setup. If you guys know what these are. They're very, very hard to find. I looked high and low when I lived in Alaska to try and find one and couldn't find one, and now I have one just land in my lap. So, oh well, better late than never. This is a second gen lift pump, so if we need it on the P-pump truck, we can use it, or you can convert these to the first gen so it doesn't have quite as much fuel pressure. So we'll see. Just spare parts, front main seal, rear main seal, a couple gaskets, plastics for the tailgate with the hardware. Got a, I don't know what brand it is, but it's a triple gauge pillar pod. This will go in the OG crew cab as well. I've got a few more gauges I want to hook up in there. What else? This is the trim from Trevor. Thanks again, Trevor. I'm going to show you guys a video on kind of fixing some of this trim. And then this is a roll of, this is kind of the most common 91.5, 92, 93 trim that people use when they redo their trucks. This is from an S10 from the 90s. You can see it's slightly different than OEM, but you can't buy the OEM stuff anymore. So a lot of people just pull it all off and replace it with this. So that's nice. What else? Also got a box of brand new window seals, window sweepers, whatever you want to call them. So got those. Got a steering box brace. So that's another piece. So you can see I got a ton of parts. So thanks for sticking around till the end of this video. We got tons of work to do on the Jeep, on the trucks. Just kind of, you guys may notice I don't work super fast. I don't like to burn myself out. So I just do little things at a time, and hopefully that works for you guys and you're not getting too anxious for me to make more progress and more progress. We just go slow, see what the day brings, and go from there. So like this video if you haven't yet. Thanks for the support on the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next video.